there was one key difference that I found between outdoor and inside, was that outdoor is just way more playful. Like, the consumer behavior of anyone from the age of 25 up to 65 was just like having fun while exercising, and I was just like, well, let's ingrain that digitally, and then they'll get it physically as well.
Crazy.
I'm here with Dave Stapleton from BUA FIT. Dave, awesome to be with you, and look forward to hearing what you're working on and where you're going next.
Awesome, Logan. Thanks for having me.
So I loved learning about BUA FIT last year, really interested in what you're building in the fitness space, but I want to start by kind of playing the devil's advocate. Why does the world need another fitness app, another fitness health tech startup?
Yeah, good question. I suppose like it starts from, we're at the start of a fitness revolution in a way. I think there's a lot of consumers that are completely inactive. They haven't found the right solutions for themselves, and I think the big spin-off on our services that we're innovating, connecting fitness professionals and consumers to the outdoor market, which is known to be the healthiest segment in the industry to exercise in. So amongst other things, but that's kind of like our big differentiation piece amongst a few other things.
You mentioned this idea of a fitness revolution, and yet the sense I get is that there is this big gap between the people who are taking advantage of it and the millions, tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of people who are intimidated by exercise and fitness. So talk to me about just that spectrum.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you go back to the DNA of how the fitness industry started, it was your typical gym, then studios, or you're exercising outdoors, going for a run, and that didn't satisfy the needs for a number of different consumers. It's a very intimidating environment, loads of mirrors, weights, particularly for females, a lot of men, and that is intimidating. Whereas like outdoor fitness is a solution for that. That no mirrors, no ego environment makes a lot of people very comfortable, because we as people feel very comfortable to be outdoors at all times in every country. So formulating and packaging a wellness and a fitness solution in a way with a good trainer, a good user experience, and a lot of variety in an awesome, cool location can add a lot of value to your wellness journey.
We're going to unpack those different pieces. You said cool location, very interesting. The idea of being a stepping stone for folks. How did you get into this? Were you a gym rat yourself? Were you an outdoor fitness junkie? What was your journey?
I was both, actually. I was playing sports outdoors from the age of like 5, 6. I was playing rugby from that age. I played football, Gaelic football, hurling. I used to canoe. I did like every type of outdoor activity possible. And then playing rugby to a semi-professional level, they had us in the gym from a relatively young age, kind of like letting our bodies develop a little bit, but like 16 years of age. So I've always had the hook, not just for the physical benefits, but the mental benefits. And I think how the idea was born was pretty much, I was in a gym, working in finance. I was pretty unhappy in my career, and I kind of got bored of the gym, and I was looking for classes outdoors, and I couldn't find any. So I knew it was a kind of a consumer need. And one of my friends as a PT failed, and he told me the journey of becoming a PT, and I kind of got obsessed with that problem.
PT being personal trainer, not physical therapist, right?
Yes, PT.
Got it.
Yeah, fitness trainer, fitness instructor. There's a few different names.
So one of the trends that fascinates me in health innovation is high tech meets low tech. And I love the idea that you're starting this healthcare startup, BUA FIT, around the idea of meeting in a park, and doing exercises together, like one of the most low-tech concepts possible. So talk to me about the product itself, the marketplace, what you've built, and how you're bringing that sort of high-tech and low-tech together.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of like the low tech, like the market was, there was such a lack of technology within the market. It was so fragmented. Like everyone can see outdoor fitness everywhere walking around, but you can't find it to book because they're all made of really small one-man businesses that don't have the investments in order to reach consumers.
So it's like I'm in the park, I see some little 6-person boot camp happening, and I'm like, that seems like a good idea. And the only way I can get engaged is to literally walk up and interrupt them.
Yeah, or if they have a flyer or a flag or whatever, you know, you can't. It's real. Even if she has or he has a great presence locally, it'll still be very difficult to search for them. And so a lot of them don't even have websites. They run their business through WhatsApp. So the low tech side of what we do is our consumers can find, book, and pay into a variety of outdoor and online classes now in 2 clicks with no contract. So that's kind of like a simple consumer journey that's easy. And then the kind of, I wouldn't consider ourselves as high tech. What we're kind of doing is connecting the market with social marketplace technology, and that was all born from me getting out there in the market, training and following, more so stalking my target market. I used to book into these classes, into these local group trainer classes, and winter, summer, spring, and there was one key difference that I found between outdoor and inside, was that outdoor is just way more playful. Like the consumer behavior of anyone from the age of 25 up to 65 was just like having fun while exercising, and I was just like, well,
Yeah.
let's ingrain that digitally, and then they'll get it physically as well.
Dave, I have to tell you, I've been thinking about you a lot recently, because ever since our first conversation, maybe 6-7 months ago, I started my primary exercise is now jumping rope outside.
Oh, awesome.
While listening to music, and I do it and I love it, and it's the first exercise I've ever done that really brought me a lot of joy and fun. And I just, it's almost like an excuse to be out in the world dancing. It's like very joy filled, and I just think about what you're doing, and I think about what you can bring to people beyond just being in a gym lifting weights. Like really joy, you know, a sense of enjoyment together.
Yeah, no, and that's it. Like I think that's like, we're big advocates of trying to reshape how the industry is marketed as well. Like this whole concept, going back to the intimidating point of like, get fit, get ripped for summer, like all of that is toxic. Like it's all about do what works for you, you know. If that's skipping, listening to awesome music, amazing. And that's what our brand is all about. If it's going for a 9-mile walk, if it's to burn 1,000 calories in an intense class, and that's what the industry, that's why there's so much room for the industry, and that's why there's so much scope for a lot more startups to come in and compete for business. Because if you look at where I'm sitting here right now in London in House of Sport, we still have 1 in 3 people completely inactive across the whole country.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that, you know. So yeah.
I got to ask you about, a second ago you said that you started to stalk classes in order to do market research, and a lot of our audience is our founders, folks who have to get creative about market research. So just tell me, what was that experience like? Did you go to a ton of classes? What was that experience like?
Yeah, like a ton, and every different season. So the biggest objection that, you know, I had in my head was, okay, we're in London. It's not that warm in the summer, or in the winter, I should say. So I'll tell you a quick story. I went to a class specifically when it was -1. It was around the 1st of December. It was so cold, I was nearly going to cancel the class myself. And I could not believe my eyes when I showed up. There was 2 classes of 35, there were 70 people that showed up. And it was when the climate was at its worst, and that's when I started to really get excited.
I mean,
about it. So
Dave,
like,
you know this from, sport. Like, sometimes those are the most joyful moments when it's really rough out, when it's raining and you're going hard. I mean, sometimes that's just the absolute best.
yeah, big time. And as well, like, you're there to work out and train, so like, you got a good instructor that does a good, quick, sharp warm up, and you get into your first couple of stations, and then all of a sudden your jacket's coming off. So like, it's just surface sometimes is the most important thing, you know. But you can just work around that.
Yeah, and then the mental side, you end up feeling like $1 million coming out of that. You started the day cold and kind of clenched, and then you're warm and you're taking on the day. It's like it's a full 180. So.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why we're having this call is because you reached an exciting milestone. I believe you had your 1 millionth engagement on the platform. And so I want to hear about that. And I want to hear kind of what goes into that number. And then kind of what are some of the strategies that you use to get that kind of engagement? Because a lot of startups would kill for that.
Yeah, of course. So like, to strip back how we connect socially, it's supply and demand. Demand is people that choose and are looking to sign up for outdoor and online classes. Supplier is everything from your yoga teacher, boxer instructor to nutritionist. So what we have is an activity feed, and we pitch our suppliers saying, there's a number of users here and you're only 1 click away from them hitting your profile. So have a content strategy for BUA FIT. So it's everything from posting a photo, writing a comment, following another consumer trainer, and we've got the BUA pound, and so yeah, just generic kind of like basic social stuff. But it's working because we've got lots of data where there's thousands of sales from people picking up, finding classes and trainers that they love, and trainers are picking up and acquiring clients at no cost to their business. So that's the kind of like makeup of it.
Yeah, that's exciting. Dave, the fitness industry has been so hot. In startups, in apps. Why has there been a lack of innovation in outdoor fitness? I really feel like it's been a gap in the industry. Is that just because no one owns the outdoors, so a big conglomerate can't profit off it as much?
Firstly, it's really hard to make it work. If you look at outdoor fitness compared to indoor fitness, the environment in outdoor fitness is changing all the time. We could do a class at a rooftop, and all of a sudden a couple of kids are coming along and disrupting it. We've had instances where we're doing a yoga class in the park at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the next thing there's a dog fight right beside it. The doors close in indoor fitness, and that's it. The experience is set. So it's actually really hard. There's been a couple of companies that have attempted to do what we're doing and have failed, which is the first thing. Really, the economics of connecting is very difficult as well, because bringing it back to the environment, Mary and Paddy, when it's light drizzle and not that cold, will want to go, but then there could be 3 or 4 other consumers that won't. So it's actually a messier business to make work, which is an advantage for us because we've got lots of traction that we're really onto something. And yeah, that's the exciting bit.
You mentioned earlier the role of securing cool locations for working out. So it's not just about showing up at a little patch of grass. Tell me what you've done there and kind of why you think that's important.
Yeah, so I come from like a B2B background, so I'm a salesperson. So I pretty much outreach to authorities. I do deals with councils, and we have a great defensibility piece where some of the classes we do are Like we've got one in particular right now at the moment, a project that's running out till the end of August, where we're training in the Scoop. You got City Hall on your right. Our trainers are on a stage. It's all these awesome steps, and then you're overlooking the city and Tower Bridge. So not only is it an amazing consumer experience, but it's an amazing supplier experience as well. So that would be just kind of typically one example. And then we've got like, you know, we've gotten licensing in some amazing, beautiful green parks like that are just so nice. So, and we've just moved into our first Royal Park, Hyde Park as well, which is super exciting as well.
Nice.
And that's another thing that's hard about outdoor fitness. There's licensing and permits and all of that. So they're fairly difficult to sort out and really slow. So you've got to build a pipeline.
So you're doing a lot more than connecting people. You're not just a marketplace and then relying on the individual PT to secure those licenses. So how do you get involved in the individual businesses on the marketplace?
Yeah, so like we kind of sit between, we're the middleman, so we sit between, you know, the transaction. We made a big change in the platform recently where we actually charge trainers to come on now, and it's very exciting in terms of the data that we're seeing. But we reduce the time, risk and cost for a fitness professional to start and grow a business, and there's not too many brands that are providing that service. So we've got a huge B2B2C model, great relationships, and they bring in consumers, but we're just packaging wellness in a different way. Trainers want to make money and grow a business, consumers want to work out, and we're just providing it in a different way, in a different package.
Any of those data points you're able to share, or even an anecdote about kind of helping a trainer elevate to the next level like that?
Yeah, like there's loads of quotes. I mean, like you know, there's one that that sticks with my head is just a trainer, Gabor. He was just like, "Oh my God, what BUA FIT's doing for the London market is truly amazing." And you know, we've had instances where we're a startup. We get a lot of things wrong. We mess up, you know, and we could mess up quite a lot on the consumer side, and they just still tell us how amazing we are. They still just tell us about, like, it's so cool that you're promoting outdoor fitness. I feel so much better post-class compared to an indoor solution. So yeah, it's exciting.
That's awesome. So you have a regional approach. You're in London. You have this marketplace of London-based trainers and locations. So what's the expansion plan if you have one?
So we're already picking up fitness professionals in different countries right now. We've got ones in Italy, Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. We're definitely looking to eventually move into the US market when the time is right. I mean, the great thing about it is that because we're not in a bricks and mortar business, we're selling a service in Wi-Fi and fresh air. We can move pretty quickly, but we've been very much organic up until now, but we have enough data that we're now kind of operating too lean, and we need to kind of like really get our skates on. So a lot of it has come from word of mouth and providing the best possible service we can to the fitness professional.
Yeah. You know, maybe to round this out, maybe we could return to this idea of giving people a foot in the door for fitness, because this is about more than, like you said, it's not about getting ripped for the beach. I think about the number of people who are struggling with anxiety and depression and mental health challenges because they don't know how to get out and get moving, you know, just not even exercise, just being active. And so, you know, what's your vision for a world where outdoor fitness and education is truly accessible, really, around the world?
Yeah, so the biggest mistake I see people make, which kind of leads into answering your question around the accessibility piece, too many consumers focus at the end of the exercise funnel. And if you focus on the start of the exercise funnel, which is just some simple examples like booking a class and showing up, getting through, just focus on not planning your week, just focus on, okay, I'm going to work out on Monday, yeah? And just being disciplined around the really, really smaller things around of this overwhelming, huge goal that you need to reach. And I think that kind of ties in with a thought process that makes wellness aligned to the consumer's needs and interests really accessible. It's a mindset.
Yeah. What's your word of wisdom to a founder who hears about your 1 millionth engagement and they think, man, I need to start gaining that traction with my customers and I'm just really struggling? Any tips for them?
Yeah, you just got to live and breathe the customer, get as much data as you possibly can, be clear with your vision but flexible with your day-to-day methods. I had people hammer me about, they're like, hold on a second, you're trying to launch a marketplace for outdoor fitness with e-commerce and social technology as a startup? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, it's not going to work. I was like, but I spent 3 years researching this, and that's what I'm saying. That's what builds the confidence. So it's not like it's nothing new, that type of advice. It's just because you hear it from loads of other founders. But honestly, sure, it's got us to get this piece right, you know.
Yeah. Last question: what are you most excited about for BUA FIT coming into the second half of 2022?
We're making some great traction with the B2B side of things. We're working with some really big enterprise clients, and that's actually moving us into new geographies, which is super exciting. And we're adding a huge amount of value to corporate cultures. The direct-to-consumer stuff is always going to be there. It's a long-term plan. But we're adding so much value to the day-to-day operations of some really, really big companies, and I'm so excited about that.
Just describe for me how that would work, because I'm imagining the smaller outdoor fitness classes. So for a corporate, what's the model?
So we dark post all of our corporate content, and what I mean by dark post is it's all private. So we've got a service behind BUA from the consumer, and we work with HR directors where we'll learn about the culture, the objectives of the business, the split between like males, females, all the different fitness levels, and we'll provide a completely solution aligned to the business, and we align data and reporting with it. We do QR codes for their offices so people can book in easily, amongst a load of other things like account management stuff. So it's not just here's a trainer, show up. That's like 25% of the service.
Got it. Well, Dave, I appreciate you taking the time with me today. I love what you're doing. I'm excited, selfishly, for you to come to the United States so that I can book outdoor classes and not just jump rope. But I was inspired to do that by you, so you're already starting to have an impact in the United States.
Amazing. That's music to my ears.
But Dave, thank you. Congrats on the 1 millionth engagement, and we'll have to talk again when you hit that next milestone.
Great, Logan. Thanks for your time. I really enjoyed the chat.
All right, take care. A quick word about this show, in case you're new around here. At Startup Health, we believe in broadcasting the stories of health moonshot progress, the stories of the most forward-thinking entrepreneurs in health. If you want more of this good news about healthcare's problem solvers, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, hit that notification button, and follow us on social media at Startup Health.